So I'm coming after you live from lovely I-71 North in Ohio. I mentioned already, telling you about I might have to be driving quite a distance, twice a day for work, twice a week. And this might be the first of those, heading up to where I need to go to. I wanted to talk a little bit today, kind of leftovers from having the Tesla. One of the first things that I noticed was this morning when I had to go to the gas station and I'm running late. And I thought to myself, well, if I still had the Tesla, it would be charged and I'd be already on the road and it wouldn't be a deal. But instead, while I was running late, because I forgot that I even had to make this drive today, I had to spend an extra 5 minutes going to the gas station because otherwise I was not going to make it to my destination. And when you're cutting it close, when the GPS says you're going to be there 15 minutes before you're supposed to be there for a fairly important meeting, cutting another 5 minutes off of that is not something you generally want to do. The other thing left over from the Tesla was just that I didn't realize the amount of attention, especially in the small town that I live in, that it would get. On the way back from picking up the Tesla, even the drive up 71 was interesting because I had at least 3 people checking out the car. One, and I don't know if this is an actual model, I think this is what I saw, but there was an elderly gentleman in an Audi Q5 SUV, I think that's the right model for them, that as they were passing me here on the left, he gave me a nice thumbs up. There was 2 others, well actually the one other was right on my bumper for a good, I don't know, 5-6 miles or so. Then finally they pulled around to pass me, and it was one of those deals where you watched them go as they passed by. And then the other one was one of those too. It was a kid, it was a younger kid that apparently knew what he was looking at. And you want to talk about eyes big as saucers, doing the same thing the whole way by. But then I get to my hometown here, and we're a small town where I live. Just a small little kind of strip area downtown or whatever. And I had some running I had to do the morning that I was taking the car back that required me to go through town a few times. But the interesting bit of was coming back before I had to leave to go take the car back. This guy in this just monster truck behind, I mean, there wasn't a better picture of the opposite that my car was than this massive Ford F-250 diesel, massive truck behind me. And the guy, I watch him in my rear view, so I've stopped at a traffic light waiting to cross a highway, and I watch the guy grab his cell phone and take a picture of the car. I did him a favor though, as I noticed this. The light turns green, and apparently he knew what he was looking at if he's bothering to take a picture of it. And I just smashed the accelerator. And look, the 8th Tesla I've seen in the wild, right there. It's not even the one I was driving. Got a 60D there. So whoever you are, congrats on that Tesla. Interesting thing that was unexpected about the Tesla was if you have children and you don't go with the jump seats in the back, was that how difficult it was on a booster seat, at least the booster seat I have. And if you have kids, the booster seats are just these little things that push them up about that high. They aren't really latched down to anything. All it is it brings them up high enough so that the seat belt properly fits around their shoulder. The padding, and now remember I had the white next gen interior. The padding in that back seat on the right side was so bolstered, which for an adult would have been super comfortable. And by the way, those seats whew, oh, I love those seats. I mean, they just kind of wrap around you. It's so nice. Now, granted, I'm a 6'4", 265-pound man, so me being that large might give me that nice, comfy, cozy feeling. So your mileage may vary. But that bolstering on the right side was making it super hard to get that seat in there properly, so that my son could buckle in. The way that it popped the seat up over there, it wasn't allowing him to get the seatbelt buckled properly easily, let's put it that way, into the receptacle. Every time he had to get in and out, I had to help him. So that was a bit of a surprise. But putting the standard car seat in was zero problem at all. On the show, I wanted to talk a little bit about the new design studio that kind of leaked out to some folks and what that means for Model 3. I covered this on the flagship show a little bit, but I wanted to expand somewhat. If you hadn't heard the show or haven't seen what happened, basically we got a new design studio that's coming, and it looks like this thing has been purpose-built for the Model 3. And I say that because it's extremely streamlined, and you don't get a lot of degrees of freedom like you do with the current design studio, where you can customize everything all at once. What this one does is you start off, obviously you're selecting if you want a Model S or a Model X first, and then you basically just have three categories. You start off and you pick the color of your car, and by virtue of picking your color, they pair an interior color with that automatically. All of the colors automatically pair black as the interior color, except for multi-coat red, which automatically pairs you with the white. You click your little next button, and then it goes on, and then you get to decide, do you want a standard car, do you want a premium car, or do you want a performance car? The standard car sounds exactly like it sounds. You're getting a base battery with no frills, and in the next section that I'll talk about, you have a couple of options. The premium car basically gives you all of the options possible except for the performance characteristics. So no ludicrous mode, and I think that's really all you're not getting. You're not getting the ludicrous performance stuff. And then lastly, the performance selection literally ticks all the boxes for the car. I could see Tesla's want to do this because it is definitely putting people probably by default into a much higher car than they maybe necessarily wanted to, and maybe pulling in some more moolah at the same time. The last section, I think it was called upgrades, if I remember right. And on the standard car, you got an option if you want to choose the enhanced autopilot or not. And there was another option too, but I'm spacing on exactly what that option was. But basically, you had two options that you could upgrade, and that was it. I never bothered to click on the premium or performance versions when I was tooling around in there, so I'm not sure what the upgrades are that they're gonna offer for that are, but same idea, same principle. So in that third column, there is not called out anywhere. They've kind of did their best to hide it, but there's a tiny little link that appears only in that section that is a link to custom order, which still takes you back to the current design studio. So my bold prediction on the show, and I'm going to reiterate it here, is that link when you go to configure Model 3 is not going to be there. And that is why you're going to have this differentiation between, in that comparison sheet, where they said there was more than 1,500 ways you could configure the Model S and less than 100 on the Model 3. Because quite frankly, they're going to lock you into these standard, performance, or premium categories, and that's it. That's all you're going to have to configure. So essentially, your degrees of freedom are boiling down to what color you want, which is about, I think, 7 or so colors, whether you want standard, performance, premium, and whatever bones they might throw you do as far as upgrades if you choose to pick something other than the performance car, which ticks all the boxes. Interesting to note, too, that at least on the Model S, when you tick that standard box, the 75 kilowatt hour battery did not give you dual motor. And on top of that, it also did not give that to you as one of the options in the upgrade section. Like I said, that was enhanced autopilot and something else. I still can't remember what that thing was. So I really hope that they are not going to make that, they're not going to kind of tie that to the max battery pack on the Model 3 too. It just seems, you know, it's not this car, but I have a car that costs 2/3 of what a base Model 3 costs, and all-wheel drive, it's a Subaru, so all-wheel drive is standard on that car at a low 20s thousand dollar price tag. Come on, Tesla, you can let us have all-wheel drive on the low battery pack if Subaru can do it on a far cheaper car. Oh yeah, and just one more thing before I go. Just wanted to give a shout out to all the YouTubers and podcasters that are in Fremont today, living it up with the Model 3 and taking the factory tour. Some of my favorites out there, Ride the Lightning, Brian McCaffrey, like Tesla, James Cook from over in the UK. I think the Talking Tesla guys and the Tesla Show guys are out there. So, hope you guys are having a good time out there. Wish I could have been out there with you. Unfortunately, A, no invite. B, just no money to do that right now. Everything I have is going toward my Model 3. Anyway, that's it for today's show. If you like what you're seeing with me on this channel between Tesla Tidbits and these Tidbits from the Road, definitely give a subscribe on the YouTube channel. Be sure to like these videos. Tell a friend about it too if they're into EVs as well. Don't forget the Patreon, patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. My super patrons, thanks to all you guys, John Waltower, Drew Schuyler, John Waller, Mark and Sarah Thomas, and Ryan Scarborough. I think I got you all right there. I should know that. I only say your guys' names every night. Thank you so much for your support. And that's it for episode 3 of Tidbits from the Road. Until I see you next time, keep it charged and hit the road.